All right, today we are breaking down the Fry Leadership Playbook. This is all about how to get things done, elite execution, especially when you have no idea what's coming next. And look, this isn't just some high-level theory. It's a real, practical guide for navigating the chaos and actually leading your team to a win. You know, this quote right here really gets to the absolute heart of the playbook. The big idea is that a leader's job isn't to be the smartest person in the room with all the answers. Nope. Your job is to build an environment where your team can do its best work, even when everything feels like it's up in the air. You're an architect, not a genius. I think every leader knows this feeling, right? You're trying to navigate all this complexity, all this ambiguity. Things are changing constantly. Well, the Fry playbook is designed to solve that exact problem. It's a system for moving forward with confidence, even when the path isn't clear at all. So this really reframes the whole goal of leadership. Instead of spending all your time searching for that one perfect answer, you shift your focus. You focus on building a team that's resilient, that's adaptable, and that can perform at an incredibly high level no matter what gets thrown at them. The best way to think about this playbook is like an operating system for your leadership. It's not some rigid, dusty rule book. It's more like the underlying code that powers all your decisions, how you communicate, and ultimately how your team performs. It's what's running in the background. And this operating system, it's built on 6 core pillars. You've got clarity and discipline, focus and execution, courage and learning, really high standards and accountability, deep trust and a solid reputation, and finally, energy and meaning. These aren't just buzzwords. They are the absolute foundations of everything we're going to talk about. Okay, so we've got the high-level framework, the core code of our OS. But how does that code actually run? How does it translate into things you can actually do? Well, let's get into the specific, actionable principles for elite execution. This is where the rubber really meets the road. Now, this first one might sound a little backward. The idea that structure creates freedom. We usually think of rules as being restrictive, but the playbook argues it's the exact opposite. Think about it this way. Without clear lanes on a highway, what does everyone do? They drive super slowly, right? They're cautious. But with those clear lanes, people can hit the gas with confidence. Clear structure, clear governance, it empowers your team to be bold. And this slide shows you exactly why that is. When rules are unclear, everything becomes political. Decisions feel personal, there's a ton of second guessing, and people just hesitate. But when rules are crystal clear, well, decisions become objective. It's about the work, not the person. And that creates the emotional safety your team needs to take big swings and move incredibly fast. Okay, on to the next principle, which uses this really powerful metaphor. Every single organization has a recipe for its success. And discipline isn't about just adding more and more ingredients to that recipe. It's about fiercely protecting the core ingredients that make you great in the first place. So what's in the Fry recipe? It's got 3 essential parts. First, a clear vision, knowing who you are and where you're going. Second, operational excellence. That's how you do the work day in and day out. And third, a relentless focus on product market fit, actually giving customers what they want. The key here is that all 3 have to work together in perfect harmony. This question right here, it really challenges that whole more is better mindset we all have. The playbook argues that complexity is the absolute enemy of execution. Sometimes the most powerful strategic move you can make is to simplify, to subtract things, to focus on doing just a few things exceptionally well. Now we're getting to one of the most transformative ideas in the whole playbook, this idea of the leader as a chief energizing officer. This completely shifts your focus from just managing tasks to actively managing the collective energy of your team. So what does that actually mean? Look, it's not about giving rah-rah speeches or piling on the pressure. It's about being an architect of the work environment itself. It means your job is to remove obstacles, clarify the purpose of the work, and foster a climate where people feel genuinely empowered and motivated to bring their A game every day. And here's why this matters so much. Energy isn't some fluffy, nice-to-have thing. The playbook is very clear. It's a leading indicator of performance. That means if you see the team's energy dip, you can be sure that the results, the numbers, are going to follow. It is a critical metric you have to watch. This sequence is so interesting because it's often the total reverse of how leaders operate. The playbook says you start with the people, check in on them, check the energy.
Then you connect that to the business operations. And only then, at the very end, do you look at the financials. Why? Because the financials are just a lagging indicator. They're the result of the first two.
Okay, so all of these principles sound great, right? But great principles are pretty useless if you don't actually put them into practice. So how do you embed all of this into the very fabric of your organization? The final part of the playbook is all about making this stuff a habit. You do it through a consistent operating rhythm. Every week, you're focused on blockers and checking the team's energy. Every month, you're reviewing your standards, celebrating wins, and talking about what you learned. And then every quarter, you take a step back, you reset your priorities, and you make any necessary tweaks to that core recipe. This quote, "This is the official Fry Leadership Standard." It's such a powerful, clean summary of the entire philosophy. It's like a mantra that reinforces the commitment to all 6 of those pillars. And you'll notice that last part, especially when things are hard, that's when it counts the most. And that's really what this is all about. The playbook gives you a blueprint for how to scale, how to achieve really ambitious goals, but do it while strengthening your company's identity and culture, not sacrificing it. It's all about growing without forgetting who you are. So as we wrap up, the playbook leaves us with this challenge. This isn't about trying to do everything all at once. It's about taking one small step. So the question for you is, what is the one principle you heard today that you will actually apply tomorrow to be a more effective leader? The choice is yours.